You are listening to the I Wish I Knew Stuff podcast with Mark and Nalo. They test things like news, culture, and other dumb stuff that they just wish they knew about. Subscribe to the channel and thanks for listening.
Hey iWix listeners, Nalo here. I wanted to express our gratitude for the feedback, promotions, listens, downloads, and support after the release of our first episode, Galactic Real Estate. We learned so much doing this. We really craved to know stuff, and this was a great place for us to start. Overall, in our last episode, we learned that buying real estate in space is a real thing, but we also learned that it might actually not hold any value. At one point, we even talked that it might be beneficial for our grandchildren, but realistically, it'll be more beneficial for generations 3 or 4 times from where we are now. We do hope that NASA takes off again. See what I did there? Actually, just today, SpaceX launched the largest rocket ever to be launched. This really means a lot for the United States, and pretty much for everyone across the world. Elon Musk, what a crazy guy. I hope we do get to continue our space adventures that we had in the 1960s. I'd like that to happen within my lifetime for sure. Research like this really just opened our eyes to more realistic things like staking claim to your own land and the actual value of owning your own piece of land. It's part of what makes us human. It feels good. It's an achievement. Once lunar property is of actual value, then it will be another amazing human achievement. But until then, it's novel. More of a fun gift to give someone at a white elephant party or something you'd get from your weird uncle on graduation day, especially if the property you received is on Uranus. Well, and that brings us to another thing that we learned is that Uranus jokes never get old. Shifting gears a little bit, this episode takes a little bit of a different turn, and we will give you a sample of an I Wish I Knew Stuff division called Thoughts and Things. Yes, the name is very clever. Many panels of cool name experts approved the amazingness of our division Thoughts and Things. Thoughts and Things is a more talk-based, thought-based, and opinion-based sector of our podcast. This is kind of where you find the nuts and the gravy, and sometimes the scandalous parts. And by scandalous, I mean we talk about real things that sometimes trigger people, and we usually laugh about it. Well, anyways, enjoy this episode. Annoying people junk.
Because it's been kind of bugging me this week, maybe we should, I was thinking we could talk about, I have this note here that says, everyone hates people who ... And I've got a list of things. So let me just give you one, and then you tell me what, if you really hate this or not. Okay. So everyone hates people who talk during a movie.
Yep.
How does that make you feel when you're in a movie and someone's talking?
Like at a movie theater?
Yeah, like if you're at, the movie theater, seeing a movie you haven't seen before, like you paid for, 3D, the big D.
I mean, it doesn't bother me a whole lot unless they're talking to me. It's like, just don't talk to me. Like if it's other people, just, not as long as they're not being too bothersome.
Okay, changing subject because I know this is about me. No, I'm just kidding.
Just don't talk to me. I want to watch.
So if someone's
AKA,
behind you,
don't talk to me because I'm going to fall asleep and I just want to sleep peacefully. So.
That's true. You fall asleep. I think you have narcolepsy.
I do. No.
No, okay, so we could. So if someone is sitting behind you and they are talking during the movie and they're like, hey, oh yeah, dude, I ate at this restaurant today. Like I had some nacho chips and they were like, oh, they totally gave me the worst diarrhea ever. And they're just like talking to their friend. And, you're trying to listen to this intense part of the movie. You don't care as much as if somebody was like, hey, Mark, hey,
yeah.
did you remember to put gas in the car?
Yeah.
Before we got here, we're gonna run out of gas.
I don't know.
I feel like it's something you would.
Doesn't bother me as much. I mean, it's probably still annoying. I guess I've never really been in that situation to where it's been like I want to turn around and be like, "Shut up!"
Well, I mean, we can arrange that.
Yep, let's go.
I will. I can hire somebody. I need you to sit behind us and annoy the
And just
junk
be annoying.
because I need a. He said he
I
doesn't
gotta see
care.
I gotta see what he does.
I will. I'm gonna do it. No, okay. So I would say I definitely hate when people are talking during a movie because I tell my wife this all the time. People hate things that they hate about themselves the most. And it's a true thing. Like, I mean, we could go on and on about that too, but I think people hate what they hate about themselves. And I talk during movies, and I know that if someone talks to me or is talking behind me, that I hate it. Because I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that talks in a movie, but I am. I guess more than that, I hate the whole "did you see that" thing.
Yes.
Like,
Did you
no.
see that? Nope, wasn't watching.
Yeah, I just paid $17 to watch this movie in 3D. I got the glasses on my face.
I
Nope,
mean,
I could ask you that, and you'll have to say no sometimes.
yeah, I was
because
gonna
you
say
do fall
sometimes I might not have seen it because I've fallen
asleep.
asleep.
You do. You fall asleep.
Which you went to Star Wars with us, right?
Yeah.
I tried so hard to stay awake that entire movie, and I failed.
Huh.
I only fell asleep for like once, I
Yeah.
feel like it wasn't for very long. But I really tried to stay awake, and I just couldn't do it.
I have fallen asleep in a movie several times, but it's not a regular thing. But it's usually like the whole midnight release, and that makes it the worst too, because I just stood in line for this long. And I tried to get a seat, and I'm going to be tired for work the next day. And I'm doing it all so I can watch this movie.
And then you fall asleep.
And then I fall asleep during the movie because it's 2:00 in the morning. And I should have chugged a bunch of coffee before, but instead, I ate Taco Bell. And, and my body's like, yeah, I just want to sleep. And it's dark.
All I ask is that if I ever fall asleep at a movie in a theater and I start snoring, that somebody wakes me up.
Oh, okay. So you don't.
'Cause that
so
would be
worse than
embarrassing.
talking would be snoring.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember back in the day, like the only movie I ever remember going with my mom to was Wild Wild West. Mm-hmm. She took me to it, and she fell asleep, and she was just like, and I'm like, Mom, you gotta wake up, like elbowing her. I'm like, seriously, wake up. Oh, sorry, did I fall asleep? Yep.
So if you fell asleep and you were snoring, and then other people had noticed by the time I wake you up, would you be okay with me standing up and slapping your face? So other people would be satisfied.
They're like, thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
thanks. Oh, like I got what was coming to him.
Yep.
Okay.
Just not real hard.
You
Better hope I wake up too, because I might not. You'd have to hit me pretty hard to wake me up.
That's funny. Do sounds wake you up easier than like movement? I feel like I'm that way.
I'm more of a movement. Yeah. Sounds don't really. Sometimes they do. But most of the time it's movement, like my 4-year-old jumping on me. That kind of movement. Like, wham! Jumped on your nuts. What's up, Dad? I'm hungry.
Yeah?
It's 5 a.m. and I'm hungry.
Oh, that's so...
Go back to sleep.
Do you ever wake yourself up snoring?
No.
No. You could snore pretty loud, but you don't wake yourself up snoring.
Nope.
I have. Like, I have done that. Like, I'll wake up and I'm like... Okay, sometimes I'll stay up late and I'll watch a show and I'll fall asleep on the couch and I'll wake... I know that what woke me up was my snoring. Because it'll be like I'll hear it. And I wake up, it's my first thought, like, what was that? And then I'm like... I know my brain's telling me that was a snore, and there's no one else here. Like I'm in the living room by myself, so I know I wake myself up snoring. It's crazy.
There has been some recent times where sound has woke me up in the middle of the night, and I swear it's like somebody outside. Like I'm so paranoid that there's like somebody outside messing with my truck, or it's like,
Oh yeah,
like I don't know what you would get out of my truck. There's nothing in it but garbage. But I do have some, whatever. But like I'll be laying there and I'll hear this noise. It's like click, it's like it's probably just the water heater or something like that making noise. But I'll be like, I cannot go to sleep for like 30 minutes probably. And
Really?
It happens kind of regularly. I'll just be laying there hearing this noise. I'm like going through in my head like what I'm gonna like if I hear footsteps or something, like what I'm gonna go do. That's
crazy. It's been super cold recently. and then ice builds up on the front of my house. Nowhere else on my house except for just on the front because of the way the overhang is. I need to put these vents in there to prevent the ice. But anyway, the ice builds up on there, and then it'll warm up, and it'll like giant chunks of it will fall off, and it'll happen at like 3:30 in the morning, and it sounds like someone's coming in my front door. It's happened like 3 times this last week. And one time it woke up Brooke and Elias, and Elias first, and he comes in our room. He's like, I think someone's downstairs. And of course, like, that's the first thing I hear, because I didn't hear the ice fall off the thing. All I hear is my son in my room saying, I think there's someone in our house. So, you know, I'm waking up like, what are you, what'd you hear? You know, and then I heard a banging. And then Brooke's like, yeah, I heard it too. And I'm just like, okay, fine. So I'm like kind of sneaking down the stairs, trying to listen for something. Of course, it's perfectly quiet and there's nothing happening. I look all the way around the house, nothing's there. I look outside and there's like a chunk of ice on my deck, you know, and I'm like, that's what it was. Yeah. So then, of course, yeah, I'm up for 30 seconds because it doesn't take me long to fall asleep. I don't know why.
Like, it's most likely just a sound from my house, but if I hear like a voice or some footsteps, then I'll probably get up and go kill somebody. But
yeah. Yeah, which is likely going to happen. Don't break into Mark's house.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it.
It will. Well, yeah.
Yeah. If you don't live in Montana and you're listening to this, we got Castle Law up here. you come in my house and offer me Girl Scout cookies at 3 o'clock in the morning, you dead.
Yep. And then I'm taking your Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah. And then the cops are going to be like, well, I done the same thing. Bye. Have a good night.
Can I have some of your Thin Mints?
Yeah. Castle Law. And to kind of transition to the next option in the thing everyone hates is quoting a movie while it's playing. Like, it doesn't have to be at the movie theater. I mean, it could be like, you know, you say you watch Tommy Boy.
I hate it, but I do it too.
Yeah.
But I don't do it to the level of some people. Like, there's some people that will like quote every line of the movie.
I think I am that person. Like,
and I just quote like the banger one-liners, you know,
like not the stupid crap that nobody cares about, that you still know because you watched the movie 100 times.
Yeah, like yesterday, we were in the break room and my boss was in there, and
coffee.
Princess Bride was on.
Princess Bride.
Yeah, we were watching that. The part comes up at the end, and he's all, "My name is Inigo Montoya.
Yeah.
You killed my father. Prepare to die."
Yeah.
And I started quoting that, and she was looking at me like, thought I was some kind of weirdo. I'm like, this is she'd never seen the movie.
Oh,
and I'm like, you never seen this? And she goes, no, this looks retarded. And I'm like, it is, but it's hilarious, you know? And she just thought it was funny that I was sitting there quoting that part, like, as he was doing it perfectly, you know? Like,
yeah. It's like, wow, you
my name
are
is
a
Inigo
nerd.
Montoya.
You've
killed my father. Prepare to die.
She's probably like, first off, you're a nerd for watching a movie like this, and that, you know.
But like, that kind of stuff doesn't really annoy me. It's just like when it's like every line, like, but certain Fast and the Furious movies and are certain friends that do that. It's like, just shut up. I want to watch the movie.
Who likes those movies anyway? Come on.
All of us.
Yeah,
everybody.
We all do. No, I'm thinking like specifically like Nacho Libre. Nacho Libre is the entire movie is one-line bangers. So it's like you could seriously quote that entire thing, you know? And everyday life you can use lines for that. Like, I don't know.
I guess it's like so hit or miss for me because like comedy movies it's okay to do, but like some other movies, I don't know. It's just hit or miss. And I guess to me it depends who's doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends on the mood.
I quote Tommy Boy regularly in everyday life.
That's in my life. Yeah, that is my life.
Like Tommy Boy is like, we're not quoting movies, we're quoting our life using
and they just
Tommy Boy references.
They just happen to use those lines in a movie.
Idiot.
Or that's Dumb and Dumber. But
yeah,
what did you do? That's what I always say. What did you do?
Yeah, we're kind of dumb like that. But I think we're not alone. I think everyone does this. And then I think the people that say that they hate these kind of things are just pocket or closet. I almost said pocket. I did say pocket, but I meant closet movie quoters.
You're a pocket movie quoter.
So along those same lines, people that give away spoilers, like for example, this new Star Wars movie came out. There wasn't really many things you could spoil about this one, but for example, like the last one where Han Solo died. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it 2 years ago.
Han Solo died?
Yeah, totally did. But when that came out, like that's a huge thing for Han Solo to die since he came, he was in the movies since 1976. And he's like a key character and like cult following of Han Solo, and people dress up like him every Halloween, and go to costume parties dressed up as Han Solo. And then he just freaking died in the last movie. So if you hadn't seen it yet and you love Star Wars and somebody's like, "Oh, dude, Han Solo died."
Did you see that?
I hate that. Some people are like, "Oh yeah, I don't care about spoilers," or some people go to the extreme. You talk to them, "Hey,
They're
did
like,
you see Star Wars?"
Don't tell me.
Yeah, like all I'm asking is if you saw the movie, and they're like, "Don't tell me any spoilers." They like get really upset about it, and you haven't even said anything yet.
So what's like the standard? What point can you start giving spoilers? Like right now, it's been 2 years since the last one. Is it? Except
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is it like a month? Like if you haven't seen it in a month, I'm allowed to say this kind of stuff.
I would say a week, because most people, like that's how they judge how popular a movie is, and how they figure out how a movie's going to do in the long run in the box office is a week. So I mean, if you really cared that much about the spoilers, you better have seen it in a week. Otherwise, you're going to accidentally get spoiled on Facebook or anything like that anyway.
I was thinking more of like, as long as it's in theaters, don't say anything. But
Well,
a week
I mean,
is good
I guess
too.
that's a pretty logical conclusion to come to, is as long as it's in theaters, which some movies are in theaters for like a day
Yeah,
because they suck and no one cares about spoilers
yeah.
for those
Then it
movies.
doesn't matter
But okay, so I don't know why they were all about movies, the things that people hate.
because
I was
that's
just
when
like,
a lot of people do annoying things.
dude, yeah, I know that was big, but kind of headed a little step backwards when we were talking about people breaking in houses and stuff. But people that don't ever lock anything totally annoys me, and I don't know. I grew up locking our house, and my dad was in the military. I don't know if we were just paranoid people or something like that, but we locked everything. We locked the cars, locked the house, locked the. When we leave the house for more than a day, we unplug the coffee pot. That kind of thing. I'm serious.
You don't want to waste energy of this coffee pot.
No,
being
like my dad, I
plugged in.
think, was afraid that the house would catch on fire, because even though the coffee pot's not on, maybe elves came in and turned stuff on when
That's
we were
weird.
gone or something. But no, like just people that leave stuff unlocked, like that annoys me, at least. I mean, is that
I probably annoy you then, because
you just don't want to-
I'm better, but like my dad growing up, his house was never locked.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, he just was always, he didn't care. Like he had nicer things too, but it was like, if somebody wants to break in and steal my stuff, like it's stuff. I
Yeah.
don't care. Like I can get new stuff.
Sure.
And then he just always wanted us, like he didn't want us to have to knock on his door to go into his house. Like he just wanted us to be able to walk in and
Sure.
come over like, oh, hey, look, Mark's here now. Like
That is
I didn't want to knock.
so much more of a better life, I feel like, than being so paranoid that people are going to get into your stuff all the time.
But that was, 15 years ago. That was different back then. Now I'm kind of like, did you lock the house? Because we have, nice, expensive, some stuff in there.
Sure.
Like, lock the house, because people are crazy now. It's 2018 and people
Yeah,
will just
times have
walk into
changed.
somebody's house and steal.
Yeah, times have changed.
neighbors
since
probably
the
wouldn't even care.
50s.
Even
locks,
since, like,
people
10
didn't even
years ago.
have locks on their house. Like my grandma's told me this story. That when they were growing up, they didn't have locks on their house. They didn't even have doors that had the little latches. The doors just closed. And then they'd have to put something on them or block them, like if it was windy, so the doors wouldn't come open. But even they didn't lock stuff. Or if they didn't want them to come open, really, they would just put like a stick through the handle, that kind of thing. As weird as that sounds, but
Just hammer a board onto it every time you want to lock it.
yeah. Back then, though, you would, you could let your kids outside and they'd play literally all day without you knowing where they were or what had happened, and these days I can't even let my kids go, beyond the front yard without wanting them to check in or staying close enough to where I can whistle and they can hear me or something. I don't know. Times are just different.
Whistle.
But I have been annoyed in the past with like somebody break into a car they break my window to unlock the car.
That was unlocked.
Well, no, not. I mean, usually my stuff is locked. Lately, I've been really terrible at it, which is so hypocritical of me talking about it like this. But, people will break my window to see what I have in my car, and I don't have anything in there for them. So when I could have left it unlocked and they would have just like saw that I don't have anything, open the door, close the door.
I'd rather go with that. Yeah. Leave it unlocked. Then they don't break stuff and they're like, oh, hey, look, this loser doesn't have anything. On to the next car.
So maybe it's not as annoying as I thought not to lock things.
It depends what it is. If it's your house, there's definitely stuff in here to steal.
Sure. And I would, my kids, they come home from school and no one's here for a little bit, and it just like I feel more comfortable and I have comfort knowing that the door can be locked like heavily with a deadbolt.
Here's something. I just thought of this.
Okay.
How would you feel if somebody broke into your house and just took a dump in your toilet and didn't flush it? And that's literally all they did. Like, what would go through your head? Like,
I mean, I've never thought about it before, but I guess
like the doors just like swung wide open.
How would I know it wasn't just like my kid getting up?
That's what I'm like. So you can definitely tell they broke in. Like they kicked the door in.
Yeah.
And like you go like,
and the only thing,
like nothing is like out of place. Nothing's missing, but there's a giant dookie in the toilet.
And there's like mud boot footprints to the bathroom.
Just to the bathroom and out. Like that's all they did was poop in your toilet, and then they didn't flush it even.
I would be proud, I think. Like, man, that is some. This guy really had to go. I'm glad I had a toilet.
I'm glad I could help him. Like put a post out there on Facebook like, yo, who broke into my house and pooped? I just want to shake your hand.
Dude, like, way to be a trooper and still drop a dookie in the toilet. Like, you pooping in someone's yard, that's got to be against some sort of law.
Well, it's probably embarrassing, too. Just,
breaking in someone's house is against the law, too. But just saying, like, maybe it's less of a consequence to, like, oh, I thought this was my house and I took it down.
Like, do you think the police would do anything? Like, yeah, this guy broke into my house. We can clearly see mud tracks just to the bathroom and back out. Mm-hmm. He didn't steal anything. He just broke in and took a dump. Like, what would they do?
That sounds so crazy. I don't know. The cops would just be like, well, I guess we'll take a stool sample and then
try to match it up with the records downtown.
Yeah, I mean, stool samples, that always weirded me out anyway. Like, does the government have stool samples in mind?
I hope not. Like when you're a baby,
I don't think they use stool samples to identify people. They use stool samples to like identify if you're like a drug user or something,
or colon cancer or something. Probably not.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Doctors probably use.
I don't know. Like I remember like the vet. When our old dog was sick, they'd always be like, "Oh, we're gonna take a stool sample. What are you gonna do with that poop?"
We're mix it under chili. Just make a chili with it. I'm typing right now.
What are some other annoying things?
Okay, the next one here is chewing with their mouth open.
I guess it depends how loud it is.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's like been a popular video lately about trying to annoy people. That one lady has a popular YouTube channel, and she just eats. She films herself with like this close camera, like it's close to her face. All you can see is her shoulders and up. Maybe a little bit more. It's like a bust, Mm-hmm. And then there's she's got like a microphone, just like our podcast mics, right next to her freaking mouth, and she eats like pickles and stuff. And and she's like this black lady who's got giant lips.
Is that the lady that tried to eat the like habanero or whatever and starts like freaking out?
I'm not sure. Maybe it is, but she's just like, I listen to it, and it's impressive. Like her sound she makes is just impressive. Some people hate that stuff. Like we know a guy.
I know a guy.
We know a guy that like he will. I mean, sometimes I get afraid that he's going to just kill somebody if he hears somebody chewing. That's a big deal. Some people have to put on music and things so they don't hear people chew.
What about people like you're chewing with your mouth closed, but you're eating like something crunchy, like some crunchy cereal or something? You can still hear it.
I still think that I would prefer that
over than just the mouth
being
sounds.
Able to like see their teeth, and they're just like, Or when people have like a sucker in their mouth and then you can hear them rattling it against their teeth.
Oh, yeah,
It gives
that
me
is annoying.
chills because it's like, ugh. I know that I would hate rattling, a sucker around on my teeth. So I just know what it feels like. It's just annoying. Chewing with their mouth. I think it's like a hereditary habit, though, or like how you grew up and your parents telling you good manners or things like that. I don't know. I guess it's
proper
considered-
manners.
Is it really a proper manner though, or is it just like a preference? Because
It's probably just an American thing. Over in France, they're probably like, "Oh, you chew with your mouth closed? Weird."
dude, you went to Japan and
did.
like it was like a normal thing for people to slurp their ramen.
It's not weird to slurp over there. Like your ramen, you just slurp away.
So you go into a Japanese ramen restaurant and everyone's just like slurping.
Oh yeah.
away.
When we went, like our friend was like, "Oh yeah, it's okay to slurp your soup and that
weird.
kind of stuff," and because you use these little weird spoons, and you're just like, because this, you've had the spoons at like the sushi
Sure.
places or whatever. Like it doesn't really fit in your mouth.
Do they lift the bowl or do they get their face
They
down
just
by the
they
bowl?
just get the bowl, lifted up, and they're just like. And so the first time we went, it was kind of weird to us. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not slurping my soup,
I ain't slurping nothing.
And then the second time, because we went to this one place and it was so good, we were like, we gotta go back.
Yeah.
So we went the second time and we're like, screw it, we're doing the whole experience. Like we sat on the floor at like one of the
Nice.
little mini tables and stuff, and we just slurped
Slurped.
away.
That's
Because
awesome.
you got your chopsticks and your little soup spoon, and you just, it's normal over
I feel
there.
like that's definitely what you want to do if you're going to go to a different culture or something like that. I think it's a good idea to immerse yourself into whatever they do
Yeah, because
and to kind of figure it out.
the one place had, normal table and chairs
Mm-hmm.
on half, and then the other half was like the little like foot high tables, and you sat on a pillow and ate it that way. So the second time we went, we were like,
So
oh,
they
we're
had the
doing that.
tourist side.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
for all the
everything. They had like bathrooms
Weirdo
like that.
white Americans.
Yeah, they had bathrooms like that too. Even it was Western style bathrooms where it's what we have now, and then traditional Japanese where it was like a hole in the ground that you just whiz into or take a dump in if you wanted
that makes
to.
me feel like people in America are just a bunch of dicks. Like we don't care. We don't have any kind of subculture amenities. No, you learn how to eat with a friggin' fork, okay?
Like we don't have Japanese style toilets. Like, okay, here's your Japan toilet if you want to use it.
Yep. We honestly, like, maybe it's because if we did, we would have to have like 10 different things.
It's because that, and we're probably too fat to squat down and take a dump and not fall into it.
Yeah. Probably most of the time people that travel around the world, do you think they're just like more often American people that are traveling? Maybe that's
Probably.
the thing. I don't know. Maybe people in other countries don't care about leaving their country. They're like, we like our country. And here in America, we're trying to like live through other people.
I mean, most of the time, like the hotels and stuff all had regular toilets. Mm-hmm. It was like places that we went, like it was some old temple or something like that we were at that had them. And then they put the new Western style into, update everything.
Sure.
But they still had the old ones for like people that were into that.
I think that's cool. I think it's nice and like hospitable of them to do things like that. But I think I still, like, if I was there, I would try to do whatever they do.
Yeah.
To a certain point. Like,
I didn't
I'm
do
not going
that.
to go eat cockroaches somewhere if I go on a mission trip or something and like the culture
So, like,
just
eat
eats
this.
bugs.
Where's
I
it?
don't know.
I need a
This is
steak.
an
Where's that?
extreme situation right now that I'm describing, but
Like I didn't try one of them old Japanese toilets. I was like, nah, that's not really something, like an experience I feel like I need to have. I'm just taking a whiz. I can do
was
that.
it a bidet? Like the kind that
They
like
had
sprays
those
your
too.
butthole?
Oh, they had those too. Those are sweet.
I've never pooped on a bidet
Dude,
before.
they're so cool. And,
then,
it's like warm water, so it's not like, cold where you're like, oh, like it's like body temperature, so you don't even really feel it. And,
Weird.
Yeah. And then like they got some weird stuff, man. We could go on for days.
Programmable toilets?
They have ones where like when you sit down, like it'll spray water into the water. It masks the sound of you like dumping. You're bloop, you don't hear people outside the bathroom don't hear that because it's got like running water in the toilet.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, that sounds...
Yeah. And the seats are heated.
Like, how many times have you been in like a work bathroom or a public bathroom where you hold it until you're alone and you just like release the Kraken after that?
Most of the time.
I mean, yeah, me too.
I always feel like if I'm taking a dump at work or something and like a customer walks in or something,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I feel bad right now. Hopefully they just don't realize that I work here. Like they don't. It's
Yeah.
not like they peek, but it's like I just feel really bad. Like if they come in after the deed's already mostly done,
And like
they
you're
just-
washing your hands so they see your face.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is the guy that made it so stinky in here. Like,
No,
I
that's
just feel bad.
when you like break
You're like, you're welcome.
the silence. Yeah, you're either like proud of it or you're just like, geez, who was that? You're like, I just walked in here.
Ooh,
Like,
somebody stank.
man, if that was me, I'd be proud of that. Yeah, even though the opposite right now, you're trying to deny it wasn't you.
How did we even get on this topic?
I don't know.
That's awesome.
We went from chewing with your mouth open to talking about toilets and pooping. But, you know, it's
Natural
Mark,
progression because
Mark
you
and
got
Halo, that's
you got
what
to
we
eat
do.
something and then you just start pooping.
True.
So
I'm not surprised. I imagine that many of our podcasts are going to end up talking about taking dumps, and
probably.
that's we talk about it.
What about iPhone users?
Oh man, I friggin' hate iPhone users.
We used to.
Especially that guy named Phil.
Well,
He's the worst.
He is. We both used to have iPhones. We used
Yeah.
to be that person.
Dude, actually, okay, so I'm going to say, I don't know if you remember this, but I know you remember it because we had our dumb phones. Okay, we had dumb flip phones.
The LG chocolate.
Yep. And we were ready to get a smartphone for the first time. And we stayed up till midnight during the iPhone 4 release.
On like when Verizon got it. Yep.
Verizon got the iPhone for the first time. We stayed up and ordered it right away. And they sold like 100 of them. You know, we were
Got
the
'em.
first two. We got them. And it was so sick. I remember. And man, I could not put that thing down. And it was just so fun to play with. And now that I think about it, it was more like a toy than an actual like thing that would be useful. And I don't know. I'm just not a fan of anything Apple at this point. But maybe I'm just, a hater.
To be fair though, like it wasn't like it was the first smartphone available in Billings.
Right.
Because they had
It was like
Androids and
droids
stuff.
and
Yeah.
stuff. And I
But
heard
those
that they
phones sucked because
Yeah.
my wife had a Droid X and it was the most terrible thing ever.
Totally.
Like even before having an iPhone, I was like, this just isn't that cool of a phone. And
So-
then we got the iPhones and I was like, this thing is sick.
2006, maybe, I think it was. 2006, 2007.
2007, I think, was the first year that they came out with an iPhone.
Okay.
And so we got them like 2009, probably.
Really?
Yeah,
I feel
'cause-
like it was longer ago than that.
Whatever year the iPhone 4 came out, because it was
I do remember it was the best thing you could buy at the time. Like,
because it was after I had
awesome.
moved back up here that we got it.
Yeah. And they were glass on front and back, and I thought it was super sick. Like I thought I was dope because I had the iPhone.
They were so small though. Like, do you remember how small they were?
Yeah, comparative to my Note 8.
Yeah. Back then it was like, oh, this thing is sick, and now it's like,
I could watch like.
how did anybody ever use this?
I
This
feel
is so
like I'm at
small.
the movie theater when I'm holding it up to my face.
And now it's just retarded.
Yeah.
Sorry, Phil.
Sorry, Phil. Phil, we're just
Phil's the only one listening right now.
That's true. We do love our Phil, but he's an iPhone user, so I don't know. Hey,
Hopefully not anymore.
we record using a MacBook, so
for now.
yeah, it's okay. The usability of it is through the roof. I got to be honest. Like everything is just so easy to use, easy to find. Once I got used to it,
Or is that just because you use everything Google on it?
maybe a little bit, but I use at work. I've refused to give up my computer that has Windows 7 on it, and even actually I just got a new computer, and even then it's got Windows 7 Professional on it, and I was super stoked about that. And I love and I know how to navigate Windows like crazy. I know all that stuff. And then so it took me a little bit to figure out how to get used to this Apple MacBook, but it is pretty easy. Once you get used to it, I mean,
Yeah.
they simplify a lot of things. You can find things really easily. They got good programs. They're very, very strict on what you can use on it, and I think that's to protect their usability. Because so many things can compromise your usability, make things more difficult unnecessarily.
I'm just computer dumb, regardless if it's Mac or Windows.
Oh yeah.
I feel like back in the day I used to be somewhat decent because we learned it in school.
Sure.
But now it's just I don't keep up with computer stuff, so I just feel out of the loop. Like if something's going wrong with my computer, I'm just like, I don't know how to fix this, you know?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
my coworker will be like, oh, you got to do this, blah, 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 doo, doo, and
I
it's
think
fixed.
that honestly that it's designed to be that way. With in the last 10 years with IT companies being created and new jobs and things like that, and I think they create these programs so it's hard to figure out. Not necessarily like purposely, but I feel like they make it so they want you to call their IT
Their
company.
support guys.
Yeah. Which they market it as that's easier than just trying to fix it yourself and messing it up. You just call this number, we'll fix it for you, that kind of thing. And that's just I don't know, that's the way they design things these days.
Like cars. You can't work on cars yourself anymore.
Yeah.
Like brand new cars.
Oh,
There's
sure.
no way.
Yeah, no, you gotta. There's so many crazy. Even a Honda, they're like some of the most usable, workable, simple cars out there are just so complicated now. There's so many sensors, and you know, if anything goes wrong, you can't even change a headlight bulb anymore because everything's LED, and it's just crazy.
Can't change it. You can't afford an LED bulb.
Oh, I know, right? I mean, even the projector stuff that cars have, you know, there's like 8 different components to make the headlight work. It's not just changing a bulb. You got to change a control module. You know, I got to change the computer in the car. It's nuts.
I always feel weird when I tell people at work, because I'm a parts guy for Volvo, you know, oh, that module will require software. They're like, what? Yeah. It takes software to program it. And they're like, okay. Is it a car or a computer? It's a computer. You just ride in it.
It always cracked me up when you were telling me about how the Volvo remote start system, how it's like, it's always there, but it's not every car comes with the software to
it's just
run
a software download. And then
if you want, I mean, it's
you don't get a new remote or anything. It's just you download this $400 software and pay the technician an hour to do that.
Yeah.
And then you press a combination of buttons on your remote and it will remote start.
I don't know if I like that or hate that, because you know, on the
can't it just
Honda
come with
side,
it?
on the Honda side, you actually they have to install like a wire harness and part of you know, a fuse box, and you get have to have a separate remote. It's not just on your keyless thing. Well, some of the new ones are, but all the way up until like 2015, you had to have a separate remote. And
that's how like the older ones are, but all these newer Volvos are all keyless. I mean, I think they said by 2019, so next year, they don't even plan on having keys. Yeah. Everything will just be an app on your phone. You'll walk up to the car with the phone in your pocket. It'll unlock. You sit down inside of it, proximity, whatever. You press the button to start it, and you just go. There won't even actually be a physical key.
You know, I like that too. I like that most cars are push button start. I think it's a smart thing because you can, you know, you walk up to your car unlocks, you have the key fob in your pocket, you just press a button to start. If you forget to lock your car, like those idiots that don't lock things, you know, your car locks itself, really, when you walk away.
When you get away from it.
Yeah.
I get, like, that kind of technology. I just am not on board with all this other crazy stuff that I feel makes a lazy driver.
Okay, so you think it's more like a gimmick?
No, I get, like, the locking, all that stuff is cool. I get that. But like all these new like driver aids, not so much a gimmick, but it just allows people to be lazy while they're driving.
Yeah.
Like I know they're working towards an autonomous car, which can be another discussion that I'd hate.
For sure.
But all these like, you know, lane keeping aids and brake assist, like just allows people to be lazy, I think.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I can not pay as much attention because my car will just correct itself and stay in the lane. And I don't know.
I think it makes driving boring. It makes for it. It's the same conversation that we had a while back about people schools not teaching kids how to write cursive anymore, because it's, you know, the kids are going to grow up and they're not going to be able to read old
What does that
notebooks
say?
or any, you know, their parents' signatures or anything like that. people are going to get so used to sensors and the car driving and parking itself, that no one is going to know how to parallel park. There's going to be professional parallel parkers, which sounds stupid these days. But, if you want to get into a parking spot, you're going to have to find an 80-year-old guy who used to parallel park back in 2015.
What if the car's parked? Do it for him now.
Yeah. I mean, they just park.
What is driver's ed going to be like when is there going to be driver's ed when
No, it's going to be a freaking Android robot sitting next to you.
Yeah, but like when the car is like fully autonomous and it drives itself, like, do you have to have a driver's license to sit there while it drives for you?
I hope so, because I like to take stupid pictures for my driver's license.
Yeah, so then what is driver's ed going to be like? All right, here's how you sit in the car and let it drive for you.
It's going to be virtual reality.
This is what it's like when you're riding around.
Yeah, you put on a haptic feedback suit, and then this is what it feels like when you get in a car crash. Bang! And then this thing squeezes your body and you die.
Oh, we lost one.
Yeah.
He wasn't fit for driving anyway.
Yeah, he was going too fast in the simulator.
I hate the future. I'm not looking forward to it.
I know. I mean, this is way, way off subject now, but I feel like that everyone should own a car that's older than them, which is going to get harder and harder, or actually I don't know.
Oh, wait, no, I don't.
It's harder for older people to do that.
Like old people, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But like starting with people our age, I think, in our 30s generation.
My first car was made the same year I was born, and that's the only car I've had that has been at least. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was an 87.
Dude, the Lynx, that thing was awesome.
I miss that car.
Yeah.
I think everybody probably misses their first car. I would hope at least.
I think what everybody misses about your Lynx specifically is the roof.
Oh, yeah. That was the best part. You'd jump on it and I'd punch the dent back out.
Yeah. You dent the whole thing in, cave the entire roof in, and then you would just like Superman punch it back out. That was awesome.
And I had like a sick sound system in it. At least I thought it was. I was, a senior in high school.
That
thought
sub,
it was cool.
It wasn't even bolted down. That sub would like rattle around. You would jump that thing, and the sub would hop into the front seat.
My 12-inch. I don't even remember what brand it was. It was like some weird brand that they came out with back in 2005. I don't remember. And it was like a sub brand of somebody else. It was like their budget, something or other. But
I think I was just thinking of Adam just now when everything he had to have was MTX. Like,
yeah, that wasn't me.
Yeah, no.
I couldn't afford that.
He had to have the off-brand one. No, like I feel like everybody should own a car older than them because, so born in 84. So anything older than that would be, I don't know, why would they need to own something older than them? I think to just appreciate.
So what about all the kids that are born in 2018? Like when they get to the driving age, all their cars are going to be computers that they're driving around.
Well, hopefully, the way that technology advances when they're in their 30s. So 30 years past 2018, that's going to be what, 2048? So by the time 2048 rolls around and we're flying around in the sky in like invisible highways, then somebody can own a car that still drives on the ground. And then it'll be like, yeah,
look at that loser down there driving on the ground.
He's actually got subwoofers in his car when I have the sound systems implanted into my brain.
I hate the future.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have a whole podcast coming up where we talk about just futuristic
What about
stuff.
like on the subject of cars and all their like computers and software and all that stuff?
Right.
When is like the manufacturer going to stop like supporting that? Like, oh, you can't get the latest software update. Like your old iPhone 4, you can't update it to the newest.
No, you got to get a different iPhone.
Yeah. You got to get the newest one. Like, they're going to start doing that with cars, too. Like, well, you only have version 3. Well, your vehicle doesn't support version 4, so you got to get a new one.
Maybe software companies will pop up that have retro software.
Maybe.
Just like how you can buy aftermarket car parts, that are discontinued. You can still buy a shock, for the front of your 70s Nissan, but, Nissan ain't going to be selling it to you.
True.
So maybe there'll be software companies that are the same.
Maybe. We'll find out. Time will tell.
Yeah, $1 million idea right there. I ain't gonna do it though. I don't care about.
What do we got here?
Oh yeah, we got a whole list of annoying crap that people do.
Drinking soda? How's that annoying?
No. This is a list of bad habits, but
It's
I
picking
think,
your nose.
yeah, this is a big one thing. I hate people that are nail biters.
Really?
My son is a nail biter.
I am too.
And I think that's why I hate it so much. Because, I mean, it's loud. We can be sitting in the living room all as a family watching a TV show or something, and then I can hear him like snap, like biting his nails. And I'm like,
Stop it!
dude, shut up.
You
Yeah.
also hate people that like Q-tips, so
No, I just hate Q-tipping in my own ears.
I'm
do
like-
it.
I'm
do
sitting
it because
here.
I need to, and I'm like, ow, ow, ow.
It doesn't hurt.
Ow. It does hurt. Like maybe my ears are sensitive or something.
I've been sitting here like wishing I had one in my hand right now. Actually,
Yeah, every time you come to my house, like
I take one out of the bathroom.
I know. I buy them for you
These,
because I don't care.
I mean, these aren't weird. These aren't.
These are just bad habits. This list.
Yeah,
that
but
I
it
have.
said drinking coffee. That's not a bad habit. That's a good thing.
I know. I've drank so much coffee today. 2 cups since we've started our podcast.
All right, here's my weirdest habit that I've been doing lately, and it's only as of recently because my beard is long enough.
Yeah.
But I will like bite it.
Put your beard in your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That looks disgusting.
It
I
is.
wish you guys could see this right now. Ugh. You look kind of like a Sasquatch when you do that.
I look like a Sasquatch without doing that.
That's true.
I don't know why I do it, but I just do. That's like my bad habit.
I don't
I'm
know.
trying to think if I have any other ones.
I would say we should consider that an achievement. If your beard can get long enough you can put it in your mouth, then
I don't know if that's a good thing though. Like,
man status.
you know, you've made it in the beard game when it's long enough to put it in your mouth. Like,
Can you put your beard in your mouth? Oh, nope, not a man.
yep. Here I am talking with a woman, Nate.
Yeah, because my beard is short. It's pretty short.
Let's see. I don't know what other bad habits that I personally have.
Ooh, cracking your knuckles. Do you?
Oh, I do that all the
Oh
time.
yeah, me too. I don't really. Ooh. Yeah.
My pinky on my right hand will just do it. I think there's something wrong with it.
You should probably get that checked out.
Eating chocolate, that's a good. I mean, I'm not that big of a chocolate eater, but it is good.
Picking your teeth in public.
Only
Ribs.
after I've had ribs, yeah.
Yeah, only after you have ribs. Going to the club. I hate
That's
people
me.
that go to the club.
That's me. I'm obsessed with the club.
Skin picking is on this list. Oh, gym selfies. Okay.
Oh yes.
That's one thing that I had on my list, or I had in my mind to put on the list, but I didn't. Gym selfies. Sorry, Ty, if you're listening. It's the same thing, though, with like dinner selfies and things like that. People that post their food.
Selfies in general.
It's just like, well, okay. Yeah, we could go many different directions with this thing, but I think just posting. I'm going to stick with gym selfies because there's a lot we can talk about on that, but it's like, what are they trying to convey, really?
They got their swell on. Shouldn't they be working out, or is it usually post-workout selfie? Like, you know, look at this. Look what I did. I'm sweaty.
Okay, what are the percentage you think of people that post gym selfies so that they can look back on it later and see where they were a year ago or something like that?
25%.
25%. That's a lot, I feel like.
I thought that was low.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, so let me ask you a different question then. What's the percentage of people you think that post it so they can get likes?
90%.
90%. So like their motivation of putting gym selfie stuff or gym videos or whatever it is that they put up of them lifting weights, running on the treadmill, or like the whole towel around the neck, holding the water bottle, like, oh, so sweaty because I just ran a mile in 17 minutes, because that's what my mile would be. But
How fast can you walk a mile? That's me.
yeah, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at jogging, at jogging or making it look like I'm jogging, but I'm really walking.
Speed walker.
Yeah, but I can move my body, and people will think, "Man, that guy's jogging." But really, I'm
Good
just
for
going.
him.
Yeah, I'm just like going a walking pace.
So you mentioned like the people taking a video of them working out. That doesn't bother me as much as
Yeah.
the gym selfie, because in that they're actually doing something like
Yeah.
productive. The gym selfie, they're not. They're just
No.
taking it. How do we know that you actually worked out?
Right. Yeah.
You didn't, probably. You just
Green screen.
Yeah. Or I mean,
Just
you
kidding.
could be at the gym and
Yeah.
just like, yep, at the gym taking a selfie, and then for all we know, you left right after that.
Sure. I bet you there is a percentage of people who have gym memberships just so they can go take gym selfies. So other people will think they're cooler or better and healthier than they really are. Mm-hmm. And they don't actually ever get on any equipment. They splash their face with water, take a selfie with the weights in
And
the
then they
background, and then they're like, I'm out. And that's why, 24-hour gym exists, so you can do that at 3 o'clock in the morning and no one can see you do it. And then you
true.
just post it the next day.
I wish. I mean, if I went to a gym, I would go at 3 a.m. so that nobody else was there to watch
Yeah.
my fat butt do anything.
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm probably the most awkward working out person ever. But in Ty's defense, I mentioned Ty, but in Ty's defense, he's been getting really jacked. Like
He is
I
freaking
can
ripped.
tell that he's doing a really great job. And good job, Ty. I'm jelly of your sick biceps that you're developing. But he posts videos of him lifting weights and things, and I feel like it's just he's documenting his progression, which is really cool. I think that's okay. Mm-hmm. People document their progression for motivation for others. I think is a good idea. But if you're just doing it because you want to look cool,
Check out my cute new gym pants I got. My
Yeah.
yoga pants.
that's half the problem with social media is that people aren't really who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like gym selfies is
Instagram.
probably 90% of what that really is. Gym selfies.
Yep.
But or selfies in general really is that I have selfies. I mean, I take selfies for profile pictures and things like that, but I don't. You can look at somebody's profile page or somebody's Facebook page, and it could be full of selfies, and you're like, I don't even want to be friends with this person because I know they got kids, I know they got.
I try to stay away from
Hobbies.
the selfies, but I'll do it sparingly, just because I hate getting my picture taken in general. So I don't really like taking pictures of myself because one, I'm ugly and nobody wants to see that. But
Oh, that's true.
I just don't like taking pictures of myself. I'll do it with my kids though because they're cool and they're cute. Eating past 8 p.m.
Yeah, man. Some of these
Half the time I don't even have dinner until then.
Who
Just kidding.
decided these are bad habits anyway?
I mean, some of them really are.
Skipping work. How is that a bad habit?
but I wish that was a.
You're only going to be able to.
I wish I had that
to
habit.
form a habit, you got to do something for like 60 days.
Yeah.
Ain't no way you're going to be skipping work for 60
You
days.
ain't gonna
You're just
have
fired.
work.
Yeah, you're just going to be fired.
What is horking?
I don't even want to know.
Don't Google it.
Drinking from the carton.
YouTube. That's not a bad habit, and I guess it depends
I
what you're
friggin'
watching.
hate YouTubers.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Picking scabs.
Okay, popping zits. I want to stop there for a second because my wife loves to pop zits and it's annoying.
Like her own or other
No,
people's?
like-
She'd be like,
yeah.
let me get that.
She would love it even if a random person she saw a random person like standing in line to get a movie ticket or something and they had a zit and she would be like, hey, could I pop that zit? And then she would be in hog heaven if they said yes. My son is gonna be 13 years old this summer and he gets zits. And dude, she attacks him and he's a small boy and cannot resist. And she just holds him
Small
down
boy.
and she's like, dude, that's annoying to me.
Speaking of being in hog heaven,
Hog heaven.
is that on the list of weird sayings?
Oh yeah, for our other podcast
Yeah.
we're gonna do. No, I don't know. I'm gonna. If it's not, I better put it on there.
Yep.
Being in hog heaven.
Hog heaven. I'm trying to think it like just none of these are really like sticking out to me. Gambling, that is bad. Just don't gamble.
How did we go from I hate people who? I guess that I
makes
guess that's
sense.
part of bad habits. Thumb sucking.
Bullying people.
Do you know anybody that can't belch? I know two people
I mean, I
that
can.
are physically incapable of burping. I think that I would want to die. I think
If you
I
couldn't.
couldn't burp. It's like one of the greatest things about being a human is like farting and burping. It's just like it's so great.
Can you do the two at the same time?
I have before. I mean, I'm not on command. I think I can burp on command, but I cannot fart on command.
I know some people that can. It's
See?
weird.
That's like the opposite of not being able to. Like when you have extra skills that you could just
What
fart
about this
and
one?
burp
Does
on
this
command.
does this drive you nuts? Because that's totally me.
Fidgeting?
Fidgeting.
Yes, it does. And I would say not because of you, but because it happens all the time to me. Like not me fidgeting, but people around me fidgeting. And my kids are probably the worst at it. And maybe that's why it's so irritating for me, because they just
Freaking kids.
I know, man. They just freaking fidget all the time. And they get up all in my business.
I'll be laying on the couch or something with Shiloh, and she will be fidgeting. It's like, can you just sit still? No, I can't. I don't know. I just got to move. Like, I guess with like them, it's probably just like the growing pains, you know, like they feel like they got to just keep moving, you know.
Get
like,
your wiggles out.
Yeah.
That's what my grandma used to say.
And me, like, I just do it because I get bored, like sitting still. Like,
yeah, my daughter will say like, hey,
I just got to
can
tap
we-
on something.
Can we cuddle like while we're watching a show or something? Sure.
And then
5 minutes
just
later, I'm
move
kicking her off because she's just like,
Get out of here.
I'm like, stop moving.
I just like to, like, you know, drum on things, and that's about it.
That's okay. I don't mind it. Like when we record with the area mic, that's all people are gonna hear is like your sick drum beats. So I was trying to come up with things for this list, and I was asking some people at work, and one of the guys said swearing, because I don't swear. He thought that was going to be something that I should put on my list, that I'm annoyed at, or I hate people who, but I don't. Like, I don't hate swearing. I don't hate people who swear, and I don't really hate swearing in general, because most of the time it's not meant ill towards somebody. And that's a completely different thing. We could talk about that a lot, I bet. But I just wanted to, like, that's why I didn't put it on the list, because I don't really hate swearing. I just don't do it myself, you know?
There's like a point to where it will bother me if it's like every other word that they're saying. Come on now. You really don't need to say that much. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like the most offensive thing about swearing is that it's hurtful. But most of the time when people are swearing, they're not swearing to be hurtful. They're just swearing because they have a bad habit, right? So I don't care. You know, you can say hurtful things without swearing, and it's worse than, you know, hearing somebody swear. So I don't know. I guess that's my opinion about it, is that you could say mean, hurtful things about people and not swear. So swearing really isn't that big of a deal.
I saw one on here and now I can't find it, but it was about vaping.
Okay, that's a good one, because it's, you know, our subject line is I hate people who, but I guess I don't really hate vapors, but
It's not the person, it's the object.
I hate the actual act of vaping, because, dude, it's worse than smoking for me, I think. Because at this point, people have been smoking for so long, they understand that there's a difference in culture and a societal difference with smoking. There used to be smoking sections where you were separate from people. They abolished that, so you had to like literally go outside if you wanted to smoke. You know, if you can get in big trouble if you have a rental car and you smoke in the car, that kind of thing. But there's no rule for vaping, really. So people think it's okay to just do it wherever, whenever. But at the same time, for me, it's just like smoking. If someone's standing next to me in a concert and they got this giant vape and they blow this huge cloud in my face, I'm like, I want to punch their face in, because it's like, why? I don't care if I smell that blueberry goodness, because it does smell good. It does. Like the whole concert venues now, they either smell like weed or they smell like
Blueberry vape.
Yeah. So, but I hate when they just, like, because I know that they were breathing that into their lungs, and it's got nicotine in it, blasting it out into the air.
Now you got their lung juice on your face.
Yeah.
I just hate that it's like I feel like most of the people just think it's like,
It's a trend.
like they're so cool doing it. Like people
Yeah.
that smoke cigarettes just smoke their cigarettes
Sure.
and do their thing. Like people that vape though, they're like it's a cool, like it's their cool thing to do. Like,
Yeah.
check out the size of this stupid vape cloud I just did. Or
I've seen people, like I've seen and experienced being around people who have overcome smoking by using e-cigarettes or like a vape mod. And that's great. I think that's really good in a sense.
like that's how it started. But then it's like, oh, let's
Yeah,
make this
but-
cool.
I'm not so sure that ingesting those vapors into your lungs is going to be any better, really, than the smoke. Or, you know, I guess that they say that the cigarette smoke is like way worse than like a cigar, which is like, you know, more pure tobacco than nasty chemicals they put in cigarettes. But, you know, speaking of nasty chemicals, who the crap knows what's in half of them juices that you put in your vape pen? Like, you're breathing in artificial flavoring. Like, for one, I mean, just knowing exactly what that is, who does know the ingredients, but you shouldn't be breathing blueberries. So it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I wonder if there's like a craft vape juice, like people that make like their own craft beers and stuff, like homemade
Probably.
vape juice.
Yeah, like you go to Ace Hardware and you buy like vape kits.
Yeah.
Vape juice kits.
Yeah, like this is, you got to use, distilled water and some corn syrup, and I use real blueberry juice.
Yeah, just
You
crush
got to
up
use
some
you got to
blueberries.
use this vape juice within 3 days or it expires.
Yep, use this, like mash them into this thing and squeeze out the juice.
Yeah.
Throw away the other
Is that
skins.
if that's not a real thing, I bet it will be now.
Another $1 million idea that we're not going to do.
If I knew that I could make millions of dollars making homemade vape juice, like
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do it, just because I wouldn't want to contribute to people being douchey.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, you contribute to people being douchey in other ways, I'm sure.
I guess I wouldn't want to make money off of that. Like I wouldn't want to be associated with the vaping.
Do you
Like,
think that I'm more douchey because of being your friend?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's probably the opposite. Like you are definitely more of a douche since you've met me.
Probably. I feel like I'm gonna be like a really like senile, just crotchety old man when I get old, and it's
know.
probably gonna be fun.
Okay, so
Get off my porch!
so the mean old man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be that mean old
I
guy.
think I'm already like,
You're getting there.
dude, I live across the street from a school and next to an apartment building. People get like they throw trash in my yard, and I'm the guy that I'm 33 and I walk outside in my pajama pants and my slippers and I pick out garbage and I throw it back into the parking lot across the street. I don't put it in the garbage. I throw it into their parking lot because it's just reciprocating.
So you're like
exactly what they
super
did.
passive aggressive, kind of.
Yeah, like I don't talk to anybody. I just give them looks and then I throw the can back into their parking lot because I know it came from them.
See, in the summertime, if I drive home for lunch,
Yeah.
usually my neighbor beats me to his house,
Yeah.
and he will park in front of my house
Ooh.
in the shade that my tree creates.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off to no
Yeah.
end. And my wife is always like, it's not a big deal. It's the street. He can park wherever he wants. And I'm like,
Sure.
I get that.
But it's my tree.
When I want to come home, when I come home for lunch and it's 100 degrees out, I would like to park my truck in the shade that my tree creates.
So it's like a race.
Yes. It's like, I want to park my truck in next summer. If he's doing it, I'm going to throw like tacks down or something, like, guess you shouldn't have parked in the shade,
Yeah,
bro.
see? Yeah, I was going to pop my own tires,
Yeah.
but you did it.
Yeah.
on your- I wasn't trying to pop your tires. I was trying to pop my own.
Yeah.
But instead you parked there. That sucks.
Yep, shouldn't have done that.
That is hilarious.
It drives me nuts. Like, my truck is freaking hot and the air conditioning doesn't work in it. I think that's why maybe it drives me nuts so
Sure.
much.
Then, man, that shade is really costing you a lot.
I know.
You probably drive 60 miles an hour in the 35 just to get
Probably.
home in time to use the shade.
The
I
times
could
that
go
I
to
do
jail for this,
the times that I do beat him, I'm like just like yes. Or when I had my car, I would
Yeah.
purposely leave the truck parked there just so that he couldn't park there. Like
Yeah, and your truck was just cool all day.
yeah, like I wasn't driving the truck, I was driving my car,
Yeah.
and I just left the truck there just so that he couldn't park there because that's the kind of guy I am. Like, if I'm not gonna reap the benefits of the shade, neither are you, buddy. Like,
Yeah.
it's my shade from my tree. You ain't
Seriously.
using it.
I promise not to bring this up when we talk about the golden rule.
And I always wanted to like go knock on his door and be like, "Hey, can I park in your garage? Because you have one and I don't. Like,
Yeah.
while I'm at lunch, can I use your garage to, have my car in some shade while you park in the street under
Sure.
my shade tree?" But I never did. 'cause-
Maybe he'll say yes.
Yeah, sure. Here's the garage.
I hate
door
my
opener.
garage.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can use it from now on. You can have it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would be sick. Somebody give me your garage, please.
You can't have mine.
Dang it.
You can use it whenever you want, except for when I'm using it.
I don't care if your car's half torn apart. Get it out of my way.
Awesome. All right. Well, that was a good subject. It was fun talking about the annoying things people do that we hate. If you are some of these people, I'm sorry. Just go ahead and unfollow us right now and
Nope,
just
don't do that.
unsubscribe.
Don't do that.
I mean, we only
Because we love you.
yeah. Dude, every person that vapes is unclicking or is clicking unsubscribe right now.
That's probably like, 30 of the 35 people that have liked the page already.
Yeah.
They just unsubscribed. These
mean-
people hate vapors. I'm out.
Yeah. Half of our friends are like, "Oh, you guys suck."
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well.
So yeah, just If you like what you hear, just go ahead and subscribe right there on YouTube. And I don't know, that was fun talking about that. Join us again. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about next, but we got a list of things. I don't know where this podcast, floats in the middle of our other podcast we recorded anyway. So
Don't matter.
Anyway, shout out to Phil, because I know you're listening. That's good.
Love you, Phil. Miss you. Come back.
Yep. See you later. Have fun getting married soon.
Don't do it. Just kidding. Do it. I miss you. Love you. Bye.
We've got it.